Hey, Glenn, I got a question for you. I've heard this word used around the office. It's RACI. Now, I don't think it means like a racy video.
No.
Okay. So what do we mean by RACI?
All right, so RACI is an acronym. It stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consult, and Inform.
Okay.
Typically, it's a system used for running projects. Now, we use it a little bit differently here at SnapCab.
Okay, how is it different here?
At SnapCab, we may use it for a project, but we also use it for people that own our standard operating procedures.
Can you give me an example of that?
Okay, so we have a manual.
Okay.
Right? And our operating manual is in Excel, and we call it the DNA index. There's an index in Excel with links to all of our standard operating procedures. And in that index, so there's an owner for everything.
Oh, okay.
For instance, so we have a SnapCab brand guide that tells you the fonts to use in our advertising and the colors to use in our advertising and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Carla, our marketing manager, is accountable.
Yeah.
But Carla has a team under her, so Emily is responsible for getting that thing done. And then both Carla and Emily will consult with me and say, well, here's what we're doing. By the way, since you're the CEO, we're just going to consult with you. Are you happy with these colors?
Yeah.
And I'll say, yeah, that's great. Thanks for consulting with me. I don't know much about colors, but thank you for consulting with me.
Stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Got an opinion. That's good.
Right.
Okay, good.
And then the informed, of course, would be all the people that need to know about the branding.
Right.
So like yourself.
Yeah, when I started making videos, I was told, here's the colors that we use, and then here's the fonts that we use, and so then I'm kind of given parameters for what I can do. And that, it makes everything look the same in that example. Like it has a nice, I guess it's our brand, right? It has a feel.
That's right.
Yeah.
Somebody owns everything in the company, so that branding guide lives in our file system under Carla, under marketing manager.
Okay.
And the way we do our file system is everybody's going into everybody else's files.
Yeah.
So Emily will be going into Carla's folder to work on the branding guide because
Right.
Carla's accountable.
Okay, right.
Because I want Emily remembering, oh yeah, Carla's the one accountable for the branding guide.
Right,
and I'm
right.
just doing it for her. I'm the doer.
Right. That's interesting. So what did you do before?
Well, before I was introduced to the idea of RACI, we had this huge problem. For instance, we had this thing called a job data sheet.
Okay.
It's a spreadsheet that has all the information of the jobs that we do that go into it, and what used to take like 8 hours for somebody to get a job pulled together, you put the basic information to the sheet and it does 8 hours worth of work for you in like 10 minutes.
Oh.
And what was happening is one person had a vision for that sheet and they would get it going, and then that person would leave, then some other person would get the sheet and they're like, well, I don't know why they're doing it this way and I think it should do this, and then they would change the sheet.
Right.
And then a third person would get it and they're like, well, I don't know why I'm going to change the sheet again. And the sheet gets changed over and over and over again, but there was nobody hanging together the vision of what the sheet was for.
Right. So when you were a smaller organization, that might have worked when you had fewer people involved.
That's right.
But once you start to grow, and you often use the word scale, that couldn't work because you have so many different visions, so many different ideas, and nobody knows why
That's right.
the sheet was set up the way it was originally, because no one has a vision for it, like you said.
So now there's an accountable person, and then the responsible person will build the sheet to the vision of the accountable person. Then the next person that may take over the sheet after that responsible person may move to another department and somebody takes over the sheet.
Yeah.
Then they'll come back and check with the accountable person again.
Right, right.
So it's always home running the information back to the person that had the vision for the sheet.
Right. But as somebody working in it, it provides me with instant understanding of, okay, so who do I go to about this? Who's responsible for this? And then I can go get the information I need and continue working. So it alleviates that stress of or wondering or questions. It just I can get instant answers.
Right.
We talk about the human business and that you model the business after the human form. So how does that fit into this?
Okay, so my body, my accountable one is my brain.
Right.
my stomach, who's responsible for making sure I get food, my stomach sometimes says, hey, I'm hungry, I want to eat something.
Yes.
But my brain says, hey, I think you've been eating too much because you need to lose some weight. So an organization, the head's accountable for the organization.
Mm-hmm. RACI is an acronym, and what it means is the A is for accountable. So there's one person who's accountable, who has a vision for whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. And then there's R, so someone who's responsible, and that could be, you said mostly one person, but it maybe could be two or whatever is needed. And then there's people who, and then C is for consulted, so people who are consulted, they get their feedback on whatever it might be. And then there's informed, and so people who just need to be aware of what's going on. And so it provides different levels, but the proper communication and the proper flow of responsibility to all the different people.
Yes, that's it. And it makes it so clear to run a company that way.